There we go. What's poppin'? It's your boy. I'm always doing this with the volume, with the sound. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I be tripping out, but I'm here. We about to get rocking, and let's go. What's poppin', my people? How y'all doing? I'm chilling. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I certainly did. Had a pretty good weekend. Even though my Giants lost today, I still had a good weekend. You know what I mean? Tough loss, but it's okay. We started. Listen, we had a 3-13 season last year, and we played the Jacksonville Jaguars, the team that was in the AFC championship game. We played them down to the end. Maybe had a chance with 50 whatever seconds left to do something if my buddy there didn't muff the kickoff, or the punt return. Maybe we had a chance to do something, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I'm disappointed, but I'm not entirely disappointed because we had a good showing. We had a decent showing. That one pick six hurt us, of course. But we'll get back at it. I'm looking forward to going into Dallas next week, and taking Dallas down. So if there's Cowboy fans on here, we're taking you down next week. We're going into Dallas. We're going to take you down. We're going to take you out. All right? You know what I mean? That's what it is. I want to send a reminder to anyone who was not able to purchase your season opener tickets when the first round of tickets came out, that we do have open a second lounge and tickets are for sale. And I did put the link in the if you look at the top of the chat, the link is at the top of the chat. Tickets are available now. So if you are able, and I know school is in session, so a lot of people have been out school shopping and buying school supplies and doing those type of things, and it was Labor Day weekend and all of that. So I know there's a lot of people short on cash. I get it. You know what I mean? I understand. But if you do have the spare change, well, it's not spare change, but if you have some extra, think about it. Think about purchasing one of those tickets. It's $205 or $220 with an NBK t-shirt. Okay. And what do you get? You get good seats to the game. You'll get courtside. You'll be able to watch pregame warm-ups courtside. Food and non-alcoholic beverages. So remember that. You get a tour MSG. So, it's there. If you want to, take a gander, it's there. I'll put it in again. Putting it in right now. And, just take a look at it. There you go. I just put it in there. Take a look at it. All right. And, hopefully I see you guys there. Anyway, let's talk Knicks. Right? Let's talk Knicks because training camp is coming up in 3 weeks. 3 weeks training camp is here. So we actually have some things to talk about. Right? We have some information we have some things to grasp onto. We've been grasping at straws for weeks and weeks and weeks, trying to figure out what are we going to talk about with our New York Knicks. But we have some stuff now because the Knicks are back in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? 3 weeks. Brandon McNeely, you say you wonder what food they give us. I'll be going over the menu this week, so I'll be able to let you know this week what's going on with the food. All right, I'll be checking out the menu. But yes, 3 weeks. Media Day, September 24th. Training camp begins September 25th and goes until the 30th. And then after training camp, we begin playing October 1st. So let's get it, man. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Let me fix my collar. There we go. I'm pumped and I'm ready to go. I got a couple guys in the video chat right now. I got Viv, I got Ant, and I got Nate Dogg. And I'm going to bring up the video chat because I do want to talk to Viv. My man Viv he's working on a blog. He's working on a blog on the website. So if you get a chance to go on the website, check out the blog. All right, check out the website. And, he's going to talk a little bit about, just his blog post. He put up a blog post recently, and the blog post is, three things to watch leading up to training camp. A couple of things that we've already talked about, but something that we haven't talked about much. So I'm going to bring Viv up and, let you talk to us a little bit, Viv. How you doing today, man? How was your weekend?
It's good, man. Just been busy with a lot of things, writing up the blog and a few other things. What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. Hey, you know what? I watched the Giants game.
Same here.
I also hung out with my daughter. Had a summer league game, fall league game today with a high school team. So I got to hang out at the games, watch a few games. Mm-hmm. There's probably 20 teams in the league, maybe, and just got to sit down, watch some basketball, and then watch some football. I was actually watching football during the game because the basketball game was scheduled at 2 p.m. right in the middle of the Giants game. So I sat there, watched the Giants game on my phone. When her game came on, I listened to it while I was watching, while the other games were playing. And then when her game came on, I was watching her game, listening and watching her game, and then kind of paying attention to the Giants game. Then obviously when her game was over, I went back to the Giants game. But it was a good day. And then I came home and watched, after the Giants game, I watched a little bit of the Redskins. Then I watched Ozark. So it was a good day, chilling.
I was watching the Giants game because I have my fantasy team, so it's been pretty jam packed for the most part. So
yeah.
I was vested with the Giants because I had Saquon on one of my teams, and it's one of those leagues that are it's for kids, so they kind of put like a lot of bonus points in there. So if you have like 40-yard runs, if you have 40-yard touchdowns, you get like an extra 6 points or whatever. So when Saquon had that 70-yard touchdown, it pretty much turned his total from like 8 points to 30 points, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. But, I'm in 2 leagues myself. The one league I've been in for a few years. I actually won the Super Bowl not too long ago. And I won today, as far as I know. When my last look, I was up like 190 something to 130 something. So I'm pretty sure I got that game under wraps. And the other league is my NBNY league, and I think I lost today to Knicks Fan TV. My last look, I was up. Well, I'm not gonna say I lost yet, but I'm going to lose. I was up by like maybe 20 points the last time I looked, but he still has 2 players to go tomorrow night. So, and it's Matthew Stafford and somebody else. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose that one, but I'll be back in that league. I'll be back. I'm paying attention to the waiver wire. I wasn't extremely happy with my draft.
Yeah,
in that league. My draft was terrible, and I made a couple of mistakes that I'm punching myself in the face about. Because there were some players I was thinking about drafting, and I didn't draft, and then I don't know what I was doing, but it's okay. I'll be back. I'm gonna play that waiver wire, and I'll be there. I'm good.
Yeah, that's my philosophy too.
Yeah.
Wait for the waiver wire.
That's it, man. So talk to us about the blog post you put on the Nothing But Knicks website. I know, I read it. You talked about 3 things that we need to watch going into training camp. So talk to us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so short and sweet. Really what I wanted to discuss in the blog were, it's an aggregation of some of the things we've discussed over the summer. So I wanted to really summarize it into 3 main things to watch this month. Obviously, the first thing is, what's going to happen with Joakim Noah, because obviously the Deng buyout, kind of makes things interesting. But my summary about the Noah situation is that, we don't really know whether he's at a point where he's willing to leave money on the table. And we don't know, unlike Deng, we're not 100% sure yet whether teams are actually interested in Noah, which is kind of complicating things. So it leaves this big conundrum with, what do you do with him? Because the team doesn't look like they want to integrate him back. It doesn't really look like many teams are interested in, bringing him into the fray. So, that's the one big question. The second point was regarding Courtney Lee. And that's also another tricky situation because, he has a little better contract, but at the same time, only a handful of teams are actually interested in him. So it makes it tricky because those teams that are actually going to be interested in him, they don't have a cap space to work with, in the sense that they can absorb the contract, and the things that they can give us back from an asset perspective is not great. So the question then is, can you keep him on as a veteran presence, and does he really help the team out going forward in that aspect?
Right.
And then the last part, which I guess you're alluding to that I didn't mention, was Tyrese Walker from Morehouse. He was spotted in Westchester and White Plains last week or two. He was not officially signed to the G League squad, or he wasn't officially signed to a training camp invite yet. So I have a feeling he might take that last spot, which is available.
Okay.
We can go. We have 20 spots. There's 20 available. We have 19 spots that are filled up. So he might be the 20th person on the team. So that might be something to look for.
What do you know about him? I know I've heard a little bit about him, but what do you know about him?
I don't really. I haven't followed him too much. I know. I believe he's another. He's a combo guard, I think. He's part of the. There's not a lot of highlights of him because they don't really. I guess they don't have much highlights at Morehouse, but he's a small combo guard, can score a bunch. So he's just another guy just to make things competitive from a guard standpoint. Morehouse is a small school, small HBCU. They probably don't get that much pub. My only question there is, do we need another guard in camp? It's probably just for the Westchester tryouts for more than anything. It's a combination of that, and then if you establish a connection with Morehouse, getting recruiting players from HBCUs, it's always a good look for the team. Yeah,
that's always a good look. Definitely, that's always a good look. Speaking of training camp, I seen or speaking of that last spot, I seen a question today. I think it was by Payback Carter. I don't know if he's on the line right now, but I seen it on Twitter, and he was asking about that last training camp spot, that 20th spot, and he was wondering if we should invite Andrew Bynum, because a workout video came of Andrew Bynum, and he said we need some big men. Maybe we need another veteran big man. Should we look towards Andrew Bynum? I haven't even seen the workout video.
I don't know. Bynum outside of the Lakers has really just been a big head case.
True.
He might be trying to come back, but from what I remembered, I believe Philly, Cleveland, and Indiana, there's a lot of character concerns with him. And last thing we want someone, who's going to come into the situation. A lot of character concerns. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's worth it at all. So Payback Carter, if you're listening, I think that's a negative on Andrew Bynum. And I see you shaking your head. What's going on, man? What's up?
Nah, that just doesn't sound like a good idea, man. How old is Andrew Bynum?
Andrew Bynum right now?
Probably 30, 31.
Is he like 31 years old? Yeah, he probably is like 31 years old.
He's like an old non-vet because he's not really a vet.
Right. Old non-vet.
So I'll pass on that.
The way he exited the league is just, it was just really laziness and,
like didn't he have those foot problems?
Yeah, that was one season, and then he was waived because of character detrimental. So it's
character. His character's always been a question, and I think he had some serious knee issues. The disease that what's his name from Portland?
Brandon Roy,
yeah, Brandon Roy. I think he had the same degenerative bone disease, as Brandon Roy. So, even if he didn't have character issues, I mean, I guess, you're not going to be you wouldn't be paying him a lot of money, but is he even worth the time when you can actually, put that time into some young player?
I'd rather give Joakim Noah the shot to Andrew Bynum. Honestly. I don't know. I'd rather give him the shot.
Right.
Let's see what he could do.
And that's probably what would end up happening. And it maybe it was going to end up happening anyway. We haven't heard much about Joakim Noah, and I'm going to bring this up so you guys could take a look at it real quick. Andrew Bynum, I know you guys don't.
The Los Angeles.
I know you got nobody cares, but I didn't get a chance to see, so I just want to see what he's looking like. This is Andrew. If I can get it to play. Maybe I can't get it to play.
You can't get it to play, just like Andrew Bynum. They got something to come.
Right. There we go. I mean, they say he's looking NBA ready. I don't know. He's a head case though. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want to deal with him. And you can see this is coming from Chris Johnson Hoops. I wouldn't want to deal with Andrew Bynum. I just don't think it's worth it. Worth the time, worth the energy.
What upside is it?
All that kind of stuff.
Like, he's 31. Even if he plays decent, you know what? What's the upside?
Yeah. Maybe somebody. Right. What's the upside? I don't know if there is an upside. He was a beast. When he played, he was pretty good, and he was on his way to doing some stuff if he didn't have those knee injuries. I guess if he could ever get his head together.
Well, once Phil Jackson left, everything kind of unraveled. He started being. I remember like Mike Brown benched him one game because he shot a three that he wasn't supposed to shoot. Just like taking bad shots, not really taking scrimmages seriously. So
right.
He used to be good. He used to be good, but my grandmother used to run track too. So I mean,
yeah,
funny, real funny. All right, let me see. We got a couple. We got Michael in the chat. Mike, what's up, man? It's been a minute.
Long time, man. Long time.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. How you been? What's up?
Yeah.
How you feeling? You feel good for the season or what?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm gonna be home for the first couple months of it. Broke my arm at work.
Yeah, wow. Dang, wow, man. I see it. Broke your arm at work. All right. Hopefully you're getting some workers' compensation or something like that.
That's already taken care of. We ain't playing around over here.
Kind of hard to hear you, man. You kind of muffled. You're a little bit muffled.
So you already got that taken care of.
Yeah. Okay. So what's up? Let me say what's up to Nate up here. Nate, what's popping, man?
What up, Tim? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Feeling real good. How are you? How was your weekend?
Good, man. It's first week of football, man. It's excited to see coming back and just watching the Sunday night football game right now on TV. Okay.
Terrius Walker. What do you know about him? What do you think about the possibility of him being signed to training camp?
Honestly, Tim, I really don't know a lot about him. I read a little bit that he, they liked him possibly to come in and compete, but I'm with you, man. We have way too many guards already on the roster, and we need to actually get a 4-man or a 5-man just to compete with some of the bigs, because I think we're very thin there. I mean, we're really one big injury away from being really screwed at that position.
Okay.
So I'd like to see him, just search around, maybe see if anybody gets waived or if there's anybody on the free agent market. I don't want Andrew Bynum. I don't think he fits what we're trying to do. I mean, Perry and Mills want a young core, a 31-year-old center who's got bad knees. I don't think they want anything to do with that guy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there could be some young dudes out there that are undrafted that maybe haven't signed a contract or anything. Bring them in. I mean, hey, competition – it's not a bad idea to have our bigs compete against them. I mean, we already know who our big rotations are, but I mean, I'm just really worried about that 4 position, man. Who's gonna fill that void at the 4? I mean, we assume Cantor's gonna be at the 5, but who's gonna be that 4? Is it gonna be Knox? Is it gonna be Arizona? You know, I mean, it's really a
You
big
butcher
question
his
mark.
name every day, Nate. Yeah.
What is it?
Zonia.
It's a Texas accent, man. Sorry.
There's no R. That's all.
Whatever. It's a Texas accent.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll see.
Don't worry about that.
Zonia.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Hazonia, yeah. We'll see.
Hey, if he scores some points, I'll say his name right.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I think that last spot, that 19th, 20th spot or whatever it is, if I was Scott Perry, I think I would leave it open
Yeah,
all the way up until we get to training camp. And just in the event that we can make some kind of a trade, right? You know, and then you can trade someone into that 20th spot, and of course you can waive that person or whatever if you need to. But if you do a trade and you bring in like you trade Courtney Lee and you're bringing in 2 players or something like that, I think it just leaves some flexibility. You know, even though you're going to be, that player that comes in probably isn't going to be, anyone that you're going to keep around. I guess it just leaves some flexibility. I don't even know if it works that way, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Sim, I got a question. Is that 19th spot? Is that including Noah or is that not including Noah?
It's including Noah.
It's including? Okay.
Right. So if Noah is stretched anytime within the next few weeks, then it would be 18 spots.
I don't think you could trade into that 20 though.
Yeah.
You can't?
Because that's an unguaranteed spot.
Because it's not guaranteed. Right.
Yeah.
But what if you're trading for a... Well,
So it depends on who's the 15 on the roster. So take away the 2 that are the two-way guys, and then take away, I guess, Kadeem Allen and
Hicks is on there too.
I forgot all about him.
yeah, Hicks too. Right, Hicks, Trier, Kadeem Allen, and who's the other guy? Cornette.
Yeah.
Cornette. Well, Cornette has a guaranteed contract.
No, Cornette has guaranteed. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of somebody else. I forgot the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It depends who you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna mute you guys for a second, and and I'm gonna come back to you. All right. There is one thing I like that I want to discuss before we move forward. You know, we got a few interesting things to talk about. I know a lot of people are watching Sunday Night Football, so hopefully, we get some people in tonight. But as we mentioned, we are moving into training camp.
Do we think that Hicks makes the roster out of camp?
Do we think Hicks makes the roster out of camp? That's a good question. And Hicks is on a 2-way contract, 2-way between the Knicks and the G League. So I don't think there's even a concern of whether or not he makes the roster. I think that Hicks is going to, man one of those 2-way spots, and then after, they'll evaluate him and see what happens as the season goes along. The one thing about Hicks, I believe he's on the USA team. I don't know what I read, the USA team roster, or he's trying out for the USA team. He was one of the 12 players or however many players to try out. I haven't had a chance to look and see what the results were, right? But I think Hicks will just be in the G League. But talking about training camp, moving into training camp, the one thing that I think we need to establish right off the bat, right out the gate, is accountability. If you guys get a chance, and I don't know when Tommy D is going to put it out, but I just submitted a new podcast to Tommy D, and it talks about 7 steps of building a culture, right? The first step to building a culture, and this is in my opinion, is to, I don't even remember everything that I put in there. I got to go back and think about it. But the first step that I talked about was just like cleaning out all the dirt, right? And that was kind of what Scott Perry did. One of the reasons that Melo was traded, not because you just had to start fresh, you had to start new, you needed a new face. Melo, for all the good or bad that he's done, represented the old culture. So you needed something new. right? But if you get a chance, take a look at it whenever Tommy releases it. It goes through, it talks about, getting rid of the dirt, bringing in, and then sitting down after you clean it all out, sitting down and talking about your values, your vision, your goals, and then developing a strategic plan to meet those and obtain those goals, right? And then once you have your plan, hiring the person that's going to lead the charge, right? So you're hiring, that's David Fizdale. You hire David Fizdale to lead that charge. And, but when you hire people, you're making sure that you're hiring people that meet the values, whatever values you set, they got to represent those values. And then you have to know what skill set you want. So in order to make your plan work, in order to make your vision come to fruition and to meet your goals, you need to know what skill sets you need. And so then you go out and you hire a coach that has those skill sets, right? And that's David Fizdale. David Fizdale has the skill sets that Scott Perry wants. He represents the values. He understands the vision. And so now it's David Fizdale's job to hire his coaches, his assistant coaches, developmental coaches. So David Fizdale now has to know what skill sets he wants and his coaches. Then he goes out and gets his coaches. And then the coaches sit down and they say, how are we going to develop our team? What kind of strategy are we going to have? What's going to be our team identity? And then you go out and you look at the players that you have and you say, do we have players that represent our values, understand our vision, and are going to play within the concept that we want to play within, right? If you don't have those players, you get rid of them. If you need to go get those players, you go get them, right? And then you start to put it together. And the training camp is the area where you're putting it together. And the main part of putting it together is accountability, because you cannot, all the other stuff, understanding the vision, understanding the values, it's up to Scott Perry, Steve Mills, David Fizdale to sit down with all the coaches, all the players and say, these are our values. And if you cannot get with these values, you got to go. That's their job. None of this stuff works. Having a strategic plan, all that kind of stuff, nothing works unless you hold each other accountable. And that has to start at the top. And that's where a lot of people get scared. Because when you talk about it starting at the top, it's got to come from Dolan all the way down. So whatever your values are, whatever your plan is, whatever your goals are, he needs to be on board and he has to represent those things as well. That's where a lot of people get afraid. They're afraid that Dolan will not be able to uphold these values and stick to the plan. And then Dolan needs to hold Steve Mills accountable. Steve Mills needs to hold Scott Perry accountable. Scott Perry needs to hold David Fizdale accountable. And David Fizdale needs to hold his coaches and his players accountable. That is the number one thing that I'm looking forward to coming into training camp, is accountability. Anything that is put in place, I want to see David Fizdale holding people accountable. I don't care if it's the coaches or the players. They need to be held accountable. And if David Fizdale needs to be held accountable, then Scott Perry needs to do that as well. Accountability has to be the number one charge, especially when you're dealing with young players. I haven't really looked at the numbers and broken down the math, but we have one of the youngest teams in the league. Very young team. I think our oldest player right now is 32, and Courtney Lee, I believe. Maybe between Courtney Lee and Joakim Noah. And we don't even know if both of those guys are going to be here when we actually get up and running with training camp. If those guys aren't here, maybe who is it? Lance Thomas or someone, right? Accountability has to be the number one charge. because we have young guys that need to be held accountable. They need discipline. They need that discipline. That is to me, that is the biggest key to developing and building the culture that they say they want to build. That's the biggest key, accountability. I want to see it starting in training camp day one. We'll tell. We'll be able to tell. When that first preseason game comes around October 1st, we will be able to tell if this team is being held accountable for whatever it is. You know, accountability has to run deep. And I mean, that means if a guy's late to practice, whatever rules you have in place for a guy being late to practice, you've got to uphold it. You don't give anybody a break, especially from the beginning. Maybe when you get a little bit deeper into the season, you know, guys understand the rules, guys are kind of in line, then maybe you can cut a few corners. I don't know. Maybe even, but you know, that first year, you probably don't want to do anything. You want to be tough because you want these guys in the mindset that if I make this mistake or if I do this wrong, coach is coming to get me. Coach is coming to get me. You know what I mean? So right from the tip, they got to hold everyone accountable all the way down to, like I said, being late to practice, being late to film sessions, not working hard in practice. Even if you're not making the right plays or the right passes, you know, you've been over time and time and time again, and you continue to get your rotation wrong, you need to be held accountable somehow, some way. And maybe that sounds high school to some people. Maybe it sounds high school to guys in the NBA, but it works. You know, it works. Tony Crow, what's popping, man?
Yo, Black is time. Shout out to the chat. What's good, son?
I'm chilling. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got the next 3 days off. I'm about to take a trip somewhere.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, take a trip, man. Take some time and you know, get yourself together, get some rest. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, did you hear what I was saying about training camp and accountability?
Yeah, I know that's one of your favorites.
Accountability, man. That's you know, that's what I'm looking forward to this season right now. At the beginning of training camp, I want to see players being held accountable. I mean, to me, that's going to be one of the most important aspects of this team being, and we don't know how successful they're going to be on the court, but developing the chemistry, developing that culture, being held accountable is going to be one of the most important things that can happen. But I think it's already started.
The greatest part about it is they're young, so they're going to be molded into their best self. You know what I mean? They haven't developed the bad habit or the bad attitude and whatnot.
Right.
Speaking of bad attitudes, I would take a chance on Bynum. Just for the simple fact, it's a minimum contract. You know, the first sign of an issue, he's gone. In that aspect, it won't hurt. You know, it's not going to be a multi-year deal. It's not going to be something that will affect the players. If anything, with accountability, they're going to learn by if he mess up, how fast he's out of there. Like, you know what I mean? It can happen to anybody. So I wouldn't like cut anybody of value, obviously. But if we got the spot, if Noah's gone, I wouldn't mind a 1 year.
What would be? Is there a long term? Would there be a long term? Any long term upside or benefits to him though? You know, because I mean, you know, obviously he's, you know, his knees, he has that, you know, degenerative bone disease. that could start acting up at any time. And of course, you know what I mean, you're gonna he'd be on a minimum contract, so it wouldn't affect your money. But let's just say they took the flyer and he became a rotation player, right? And then he goes out. You know what I mean? With a young group, do you want to start that? I don't know what you want to call it. That thing of players rotating in and out. Do you really want to try to say, look, we're building with this young core, and we don't want someone like Andrew Bynum that may or may not be here, and we may or may not have to deal with an attitude.
I mean, we know that half the team might not be there.
Well, that's true.
Like,
that's true.
Who's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's a position of need.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't see any. If you weigh pros and cons, pros definitely outweigh the cons.
Okay.
Because you can waive them at any time. He gets hurt, you can waive him. You somebody becomes available. Another team waives somebody who becomes available. You can waive them. And you know what I mean? It's really no risk and maybe reward.
Maybe reward. Okay. I mean, and look, this was just a question that I think it was Payback Carter. I seen it on Twitter, threw out there. So I figured, I didn't want to make it as one of the main topics, but I threw it out there just to see, get the feeling of what people were thinking about with him. You know what I mean? Because I guess he's probably. I mean, if I were him, I'd be trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the same thing with Stoudemire. I'm not like saying, oh, we gotta grab him.
Right.
But
I feel you.
We do need somebody in that position. I mean, I do keep forgetting about Cornette, and I do like his skill set, especially at the center. So maybe we do just rock out with the young guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably definitely a better veteran option as far as role model wise in the Jarrett Jack mode. Like he's not going to fit that mode.
Right. He's not going to fit that.
But I mean, if you're talking about potential production, that's what I'm looking at. Like, let's say we are close to making the playoffs or something, and we just need another big to solidify a role. You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't even think Bynum is going to be an option. I don't even think teams will be looking his way. It was just something I seen it and said, hey, can't hurt to talk about it, right? But really, accountability. Though, and we got to that. We came back around to that, folks, because Andrew Bynum, if you brought him in with his character issues, or at least his history of character issues, you'd need to have, you'd really need to be able to hold him accountable. And that's one area that, for any player right now, in my opinion, that has character issues, that we know has character issues, I think I'd want to stay away from. And the reason why is because although I think we have good leaders in Scott Perry and David Fizdale, we haven't really established the kind of culture yet where if someone comes in with character issues, they'll be the cast off. You know what I mean? A good, strong culture, when somebody comes in, if you have a good, strong culture, everyone is on the same page. Everyone understands the rules, the policies, what keeps the culture going strong. And when someone comes in and tries to upend that culture, everyone together is like, no, you got to go because you're not going to mess up what we're doing here. I don't think we've established that yet. I think it's going to take a year or two to establish that. And then you can take a chance on guys like that, in my opinion.
I hear what you're saying. Well, I mean, with that thinking, Noah shouldn't even have a chance of coming back. A guy like Beasley, who played well for us last year and kind of changed his image, if you will, I mean, he was on that path already, but you know, he wouldn't have got a shot.
Yeah,
but, I
think Beasley,
again, I'm not pulling for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying. But the accountability would fit immediately. Like he would know off the jump. I mean, a guy like that trying to come back in, you would think isn't going to have any type of issue because he want to be in the league. You know, he was almost, or he was out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a second chance.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, you know what? Let's move on. Let's talk about some of our players, the players that we do have, because from now going forward, for each show, I want to spotlight 2 or 3 players and talk about just some goals that we might look at for those players as we're moving into training camp. And so today I want to start with Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson. Just some goals that we think. Realistic goals that these players can realistically obtain. And if they don't obtain them, that's good. But it's always good to have some goals for guys to reach for, right? Some things for guys to strive for, throughout the season.
Are you thinking long term or like this season?
I'm thinking this season, short-term goals on their way to some long-term goals, right? So that's what I'm thinking. All right, so let's start. I want to start with Kevin Knox, and shout out to my man Isaiah. Just came in the video chat. Actually, he was in, and then he came out, and then now he's in again. All right, but just some goals. All right, so let's start with Kevin Knox, and we're gonna start off with Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox. I think a lot of people are going to be able to agree on some of the goals for Kevin Knox. All right. Kevin Knox is right now. I mean, he's going to be the main focus coming into camp. Eyes are going to be all over him. Obviously, when the season starts, eyes are going to be all over him. So I want to look at a few things that I think that he should focus on. Coming into this next season, and then I'm gonna open up the chat. Can you get into the video chat? Because I'd like to open up the line, Tony.
You're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm actually I had to go on the road real quick.
Okay.
But I'm gonna listen in. Go ahead and open up the lines. I'll try to get back before the stream, man.
All right, bet. All right.
Shout out to the chat.
Peace.
Your Black is fun.
Definitely. So, Kevin Knox, goals. The first thing, I think he needs to end this rumor that he has a low motor. And I think that's very important. And I think he understands that. He knows that. So I really want to see him end that rumor by coming out every single night. Putting in that effort every single night. You know what I'm saying? Playing every single play, playing it like he's his last play. Listen, he's going to be a guy that can score for us. So there's going to be, I don't care who you are in the NBA, your best defenders take a play or two off because it can be strenuous, especially if you're playing against, one of the team's top leading scorers. But that motor, that concerns me. That will always concern me about any player, is the motor. Because sometimes when a player doesn't have a motor, that's just innate to that person. And it may not be anything. If a player doesn't have a motor, there may not be anything that you or I or he or a coach can do about it. It may just be that person, that's their character. You know what I'm saying? And that could be a scary proposition. So I think he needs to quell that rumor. I hope I used that word correctly. Or just make it go away. And how does he do that? He does it. It starts in camp. He needs to come into camp. And he doesn't have to, score lights out and all that kind of stuff. He just needs to come in and show that he can go 100% on every single possession. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he's the kind of player where he has the talent that if he can go 100% like that on every possession, you know, the sky's the limit for the kid, in my opinion. All right. Number 2, I think he should average between 15 and 16 points a game, maybe even higher. How's he do that? If you listen to the interview that he had a couple of days ago with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, he said he wants to attack. David Fisdale told him to attack. And I think if he comes out and he attacks, but he has to do it the right way. He needs to do it within the system of the team, right? He has to do it the right way. And it's his first year in the season. He's a rookie. I'm not as worried about efficiency. I'm more worried about the shot selection. Because I believe if you have good shot selection, then eventually, you know, as long as you're working and you're working on that shot, you know, you're working on certain moves in certain areas, you know which spots you like to get to. If you're working on them, you're really putting in the time and the effort, taking 1,000 shots a day in the off season and those type of things. I believe you can become efficient. I'm really looking forward to, I want to see the shot selection. That's key to me. That's one of my knocks on Tim Hardaway Jr., shot selection, which is one of the reasons why I believe he's inefficient, because he shoots bad shots. Not all the time, sometimes. I think he shoots bad shots. So I think, you know, that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to watching is his shot selection. But I think that he can average 15 to 16 points a game, maybe even more. Right? So I'm looking for him to average 15 to 16 points a game. Right? And I'm gonna be watching his shot selection. Not as worried as much about efficiency. And in these first 3 years, you know, efficiency, you know, you're getting used to the speed of the game in the NBA, the strength of players and those type of things. So efficiency can come and go, I think. After that 3rd year, you know, that's when I think you really want to see if players really be efficient from the field. But shot selection is key to me. And you guys know that. We talk about it all the time. Rookie of the Year. I believe this kid can possibly win Rookie of the Year. And I want to see him try to win Rookie of the Year. But the right way. Doing it within the concept of the team. Right? Within the concept of the team. I want to see him try to win Rookie of the Year. Put himself in the running. You know, be a 1, 2, you know, top 3 candidate. I would love for him to win Rookie of the Year. But I would like for him to at least be a top 3 candidate. All right. We'll see. But these are my 3 goals. These are the 3 goals that I want to see from Kevin Knox this season. Or see him try to obtain these 3 goals this season. And it starts in training camp. Am I going to be upset if he doesn't get them? No, of course not. You know what I mean? But this gives you something to work towards. You know, something to work towards. And if he can end, let's put it like this. Those first 2 goals, if he can come out and show that he has a motor and put it on display every night, if he can average 15 to 16 points per game, he'll be in the running for Rookie of the Year, guaranteed. You know, so let me take a call. I want to see what you guys think about this. Calling you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Show, what's popping? What's going on? This is Rob the Knicks from North Carolina.
I'm chilling, man. What's up with you?
A question for you.
All right.
This is my question. Are you comfortable with Kevin Knox? I know you are.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with him.
Are you comfortable with Frank McKenna?
Yes, I am.
Are you comfortable with Kristaps?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so now, why will we need Kyrie Irving to come to the team or Kevin Durant to come to the team to take their spot for 5 years?
Well, I don't want to get off. I'm going to answer this quick, but I want to get to these. I want to get back to these goals that we were talking about with Kevin Knox, all right? And get your opinion. Okay, but I'm gonna answer it quick.
I got some gold questions too, but I just had to hit you with that quick. But I'm still on them goals things too.
Because
I just wanted to hear. Because I've been arguing all day about that.
Yeah, because this is my thing. If I'm comfortable with them, right, to play their role, Kristaps Porzingis, Kevin Knox, they have a chance to be superstars in the league. Frank Ntilikina, I think he has a chance to be a good starting point guard who is a role player, though, and can play his role, right? But
but starting though,
I think he has the ability to be a starter. Yeah, definitely.
Me too.
Right? I think he has the ability to be a starter. I don't know if he's going to be an all-star or a superstar. I don't think he has to be that. People want him to be. I don't think he has to be that. But I think if you have a chance to get a player that is transformational, you do it. If you get KD, that's transformational in my opinion. Now, people would ask, well, what do you do with Kevin Knox? What do you do with Kristaps Porzingis and Kevin Durant? I think you figure that out after you get them in, because now you have the talent, and I would much rather have talent and have to worry about how to use the talent than be devoid of talent and worried about how am I going to get talent. You know what I'm saying? Because you can then sit everyone down and say, okay, KP, let's put you at the 5. We'll put KD at the 4. We'll put Kevin Knox at the 3, and we can rock with you guys like that. Right? And then if you do get Kyrie, and if you still, and you got Frank, say, okay, Frank, you and Kyrie can go back and forth between the 1 and the 2. I don't care who runs what. Because I'm one who believes that Kyrie and Frank Ntilikina on the floor I like Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina on the floor. I would love Kyrie and Frank Ntilikina on the floor together. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, now, so, that's the type of thing,
Goals things right here, the goals, this is how I look at the goals.
Okay.
I think Frank Knox goals should be come in, fit in, and play your game. Shot selections should be key to what he's doing this year. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think that Fizdale needs to tell him. You can do anything on the floor that you want. Just make sure you're not Tim Hardaway. You're picking up those bad habits early.
Right.
Shot selection is big. And as far as Mitchell is concerned, do your thing. Because when he showed us in Summer League, nobody thought was coming.
True.
Play your game. Let us see what you got. And then we'll evaluate you at the end of the season. Don't just come in and you just play. Because I think that he's really something special that the whole league slipped up on. And once he gets on the floor every day, he got to get stronger.
Right.
But okay, defense to me in the NBA is situational. You got to play, and especially in this NBA. In the 90s, defense is what you really need. But I'm not all on defense because I feel as though defense is situational. You got to be able to play it, but let the game flow through the 4 quarters. And in the 4th quarter, be able to have your people in the right place to shut down certain plays, especially the pick and roll. And I think that if you can do that, if this team can do that, because if we mess around this year and we win 41 games, what are we really looking for in free agency? This means as though that these players are growing. So we got to be careful.
That's true.
We got to be careful to who we bring in. And that goes for Kyrie, Durant, everybody, because that means as though this nucleus is bonding together. And that's important.
Mm-hmm.
And to bring anybody in to rock the boat.
But see, I think that's where it goes back to. That's where it goes back to. If you listened earlier, I was talking about building a culture, right? A podcast that I did for Tommy D. And
but our culture always been go to free agency and snatch somebody in. That's been our culture.
But
let's get away from that.
But I think, but see, I don't think you can get away from free agency because you some way, somehow, sometime you're gonna have to bring in free agents. I think the key with bringing in a free agent is this, and this is what I don't think we had in the past, right? So what I talked about with building a culture is you set up values, You have a vision and you have team goals, and then you have a plan to obtain those goals, right? And anyone that you bring in, the first thing that you do is you say, here, these are our values. This is who we are as an organization. And if you cannot uphold these values, we don't want you here. You got to go. And so this is where it's up to me. This is where it's up to Scott Perry and Steve Mills when they go out in free agency to say, these are our values, our vision. This is how we want to play basketball. If you cannot do this, we're going to move on. And we'll go get players that are going to do it. Talented players that are going to do it. And my thing is this, I believe players like KD and Kyrie will understand it. You know, I don't see, people knock KD for, responding to people on social media and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't see any bad values with KD or Kyrie.
Me neither.
And
I don't either.
But I think in the past, we just brought in players regardless, right? Because we were trying to bring in talent and trying to hurry up and circumvent the system, or circumvent the process. And we were just bringing in whoever without a care for our values or knew how we wanted to play. We were just trying to get people in. I think with Scott Perry, Steve Mills, David Fizdale, we have an idea of our values, how we want to play, and going out and getting free agents is going to be easier. It's going to be a better process because we'll know exactly the type of person we want. We'll be able to explain, this is what we're doing. Can you fit in? And I think it's going to make the process better.
I want this year for us to fight every game.
That's
Just
it.
Fight every game.
I'm with you.
And grow as a team.
Yeah.
And then if it comes down to the summer and we see a piece, because I think the piece that we probably going to need is a shooting guard. As far as the center is concerned, no Bynum. We got that.
That was just something to talk
shooting
about.
Guard. If Garnett, if Courtney Lee leaves, and the only position that I'm really looking like that can't grow with us unless he steps up to be the leader of the team is Hardaway, because this is about time for him to step up.
Yeah,
I'm not down on him, but this is his year.
I feel you. I feel you.
Kristaps is not there. This is your team, and to me right now. And then you get all these young players together, and you show that you can be that too. But his shoot, like you said, you're 100% right about the way he shoots in his shot selection. He has to get better.
Yeah.
And if he don't, that's the position we'll look for in summer. But I think that'll come up with Klay Thomas a year later.
Okay. All right.
And then roll with that. The center is good. The small forward is good. The point guard is good. It's the shooting guard. That's the only position right now that I think that we're not holding, that I'm looking for the whole year. This is it, what I'm looking for the whole year. My eyes are on Tim Hardaway.
Okay. Hey, my man, I'm going to let you rock.
Anything else is growing together. Okay. I got you.
Yeah, I know that some other people don't want to get into it.
I got one more thing to say to you. I listened to that. Look, the Nas is with the Kanye West. I'm a Nas fan. That thing is trash. It's trash. I hope he get with Swiss Beat and do something better, because that's trash. Nas' lyrics is good. I don't know what Kanye West was trying to do with that. Understandable. But
you know what? Artists experiment. Nas is an artist. He experiments a little bit. I don't know if it was totally trash. It wasn't his best. It wasn't.
I got two songs, bro. 2 songs.
Okay.
And I listen to it like religiously because I'm a Nas fan also.
Yeah.
But I don't like that. I really don't. Right. I'm sorry, bro. I really don't like it.
I'm with you, bro.
I'll holler at you. All right, I'll holler at you on Tuesday. Black is time. Love you, bro.
No doubt. Yeah, my man talk about, I know some people are going to say, oh, we're bringing up Nas again. Yeah, I'm bringing up Nas again. As a matter of fact, I just got my, I'm gonna just bring this up quickly, and then we're gonna get back to talk about these goals. I'm gonna get to the video chat, but I just got my vinyl. My vinyl right here. Y'all see it, right? Got it on vinyl. My Nasir album on vinyl. Just came in the mail not too long ago, right? So, you know, big shout out to Nas and his crew for letting me get my Nasir album on vinyl, no doubt. I ain't gonna lie though, it wasn't the best. You know, it was cool. I enjoyed some things from it. Could have been some things better. You know, but it is what it is. I'll be waiting to see if he drop like my man just said, that Swiss Beats joint. I'll be looking to see if he dropped that Swiss Beats joint. You know, hopefully he does. But let's get back to these season goals. I'm gonna find out what the video chat's talking about. All right, video chat, I'm coming to you. So I hope you guys are ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to you. We're gonna talk a little bit about what you guys think about what I just put up. All right. So what's popping? Video chat. Let me see. Who am I gonna jump to? Isaiah, I'm coming to you since you haven't been here and you're dancing on the screen. All right. Isaiah, what's popping, man?
What's popping, chat?
What's up, man?
What's popping, chat? Blackest time. What's going on, son?
I'm chilling. I'm cooling, man. We were just talking about Kevin Knox and his and goals for the season.
My goals for Kevin Knox is I want him the first season to be at least an average defender. Okay. I want him to be at least an average defender.
Good.
I want him to average. I want him to average a block. He didn't average a block in college. I want him to average a block.
Do you think he will?
I want him to pick up defensive schemes. I want him to learn how to pick up defensive schemes.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie of the year is the last thing. You know, I want him to aim for Rookie of the Year because I do think he has a real good chance of doing that. But I want him to learn how to play team ball.
Okay.
I want him to learn how to play team ball, and I want him to play within himself and get people involved. I want him to be a good ball handler. I want him to handle the ball. I want him to, you know, like I said, just be a great team player. And I just want him to excel and do great. And like I said, play team ball, be a team player, learn the right way to play ball. I think he has the good. This is when I wish Jared Jack was still with us for Kevin Knox.
Okay.
Because he took Frank under his wing last year. You know, and there was audio of him like talking to Frank about like, you know, when Frank would do something good, he'll talk to him about it after the play and see how he like, you know, how he reacted and things like that. So, you know, I want that to happen. Like I said, I just want Kevin Knox to be. I want the defense to come first. The offense is gonna come.
Okay.
You know, I'm not really worried. I don't worry about the offense. I worry about the defense because if we're gonna be, like Mark says, you know. One thing about Golden State, people will talk about the offense. They don't talk about the defense. They play defense. Besides Steph Curry, pretty much, and he plays all right defense. If we want to really be contenders and really contend for championships, defense has to come first. And I want him to learn the right way how to play defense.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah, that's a good one. I respect that. Let me see. Let me get this call, and then I'm gonna come to Michael and Viv. Call you on live with what's popping.
Oh.
Hello.
Did I do a good job?
Hello. Yeah, what's going on, Anthony? What's up, man?
What's going on, brother? Good night. Peace to you in the chat. And
no doubt.
Out there. Let me dive in real quick. I like what you said about the organization and, you know, trying to set, you know, standards and things of that nature. You 100%. But just flying over with the goals for Knox, and I've seen so many people talking about the goals and so forth. I just want him to play 82 games, be a professional, and be healthy.
Okay.
You understand? And from that point, we could start after 30, 35, 40 games, seeing how his development is coming along, and you start looking and pushing for Rookie of the Year and all those other things and so forth. But you got to take the hype down a little bit about Knox. We really
think
do,
so?
because we have a tendency here in New York to build people up, and then when they don't reach where we think they should be, we tear them down unmercifully.
But let me ask you. It's just my opinion that Knox undoubtedly has the ability to contend for a Rookie of the Year spot. What does it really hurt for him to set that as a goal and try to reach it? And if he fails, he fails. You know what I'm saying? But set that as a goal and try to reach it. Where do you think it hurts? Do you think that's going to make him do things that maybe he shouldn't do on the court?
Not at all. And Rookie of the Year is a goal. It's an individual goal.
It's an individual goal, right?
It's an individual goal. If you're playing right with your team and you're having a certain level of success as a rookie, you're going to be in the conversation. Whether you win it or not, okay, I mean, who was Rookie of the Year last year? You know, it could have been Mitchell, Kuzma. You could have named a couple of different guys, but what mattered was, do we remember that Mitchell was necessary Rookie of the Year? Do we remember that when he finally put his stamp in, the Jazz took off?
Good point. Good point.
What I'm saying?
Good point.
It's like sometimes, especially, and those cities have something over New York, which is just what it is. They have one or two media outlets over there. We have 1,000.
Right.
After every game, this kid is going to be bombarded. He's not going to be able to hide. He's not going to be able to go out the side and not take questions, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we need to work on making you a professional. You understand what I'm saying? Making you an NBA professional.
Okay.
And getting you to that next point where, okay, you're not the Rookie of the Year this year, but people are going to say, all right, you know what, that Kevin Knox, I want to come play with him. You know,
okay.
I want to be on his team, a team with him. I'm not even going to talk about the other guys on the team. I'm not going there tonight with the Hardaways and all that other stuff. Just as far as Knox is concerned, you know what I'm saying? Just build. You know, he has a father who's a professional athlete. You know, he's got alliances within the New York Knicks organization. I mean, Charlie Ward came out a couple of weeks ago and then laid it out how he set things up for Knox to grow and become that guy in the city. But we need to just kind of just fall back a little bit and let him be who he's going to be. And if he doesn't average 15 to 16 points, is that a failure? No,
I'm not saying it's a failure, but I think that's me. Look, this is how I am, right?
We know how you are, Tim. We know how you are, Killer.
But like you know, I coach, and with my players, we always talk about goals before the season, right?
Right.
And we talk about how those goals are going to fit into the our team goals. You know what I mean? Right. And we talk about what your roles are on the team. Some of our players, their role is to score. Some their role is to rebound. Everyone's role is to play defense. Some, you know, maybe I expect a little bit more hustle than others. Of course, you want everyone to go 100%, but some people just have it in them innately. It's just their nature to go all out and be all over the floor and do things like that. But I set goals with them. And, you know, players that are scorers, I say, how much do you think you can average this year? And they say, well, I think I can average 12 points, 13 points. And then we talk about how they can average those points and what their shot selection is, because, you know, that's important for me. You know, what their shot selection should be, where they can get their best shots, those type of things. And we talk about not forcing it, you know, and that if you don't reach that goal, that's fine, but you can shoot for this. You know, you can say, you know, you want to average 12 points. If you shoot 10 shots a game, you make 5 of them, you get to the free throw line a few times, you got your 12 points. And then before each game, we talk about, you know, we look at what the breakdown is of the team that we're playing against and who should be able to do what. And we say, you should get 10 rebounds today. you need to get 5 hustle plays, 5 loose balls tonight. And we have someone on the sideline who keeps track of what every player is doing. And if somebody is now we keep track of the score, but that's not something where we say you're supposed to get 12 points, you only got 10, go out and get it. We don't do it like that. You know what I'm saying? But like the rebounds, the hustle plays, we say you only got 8 rebounds, you're supposed to get 10, you need 2 more boards. You only got 5 loose balls, you're supposed to get 7 today, you need 2 more loose balls. Those areas, and assists as well. We don't do it with scoring because we don't want somebody forcing it. You know what I mean? But we set goals with our players at the beginning of the year and then talk about how they can do it within the team concept. I think it's important because every player, no matter who you are, I think every player, they're going to have individual goals. And I think it's important for a coach to recognize it, but then help them understand how they work towards those individual goals, but putting the team first. You know what I'm saying?
I totally feel you. I want to backtrack this a little bit for something that you mentioned earlier when you were talking about Bynum possibly. I don't know where you found that article or where you saw that.
No,
wherever you find it, burn it.
It wasn't an article. It was Payback Carter. He's in the chat a lot, and he just brought it up as it was just a question. He just asked a question.
Eliminate Payback Carter from this room, from this chat. And I don't mean it disrespectfully, Payback, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We big family out here, but there is no way that if I see Bynum anywhere near the Garden,
you're tripping.
It's a citizen's arrest. You know what I'm saying? Like up, out.
Okay, I'm with you, man.
Because how are we gonna have some? My point is, it's kind of like, you remember when Amari, those last couple of years or whatever, it just kept on talking to Amari. You know, you're bathing in wine and you're doing this and you're doing that. You can never be on the court. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? Especially to somebody who has no ties here at all.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Before we let Bynum on this floor, let's forgive somebody that we gave a 4-year contract to and roll Noah out and see what Noah has. Okay? Because at least I know Noah's going to give effort, energy, rebounding, all of those things that we're looking for from our players.
Okay. I'm with you.
Right.
I hear you. Right. I feel you.
I'm going to say good night to you. Before I'm going to let you go, I see you in your 50 Knicks greatest leather right there.
Yeah.
You shining right now.
I'm with you.
Right now, all
right, man.
You have a good night.
All right, you too. Have a good week, man. Peace. All right, we're going to get to the chat and see what the chat thinks about this, man. And I see, who's Mark screaming, yelling all in the chat, using caps every single time. I'm going to start banning him from the chat every time he starts using caps every single time. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if he hears me or if he's ready. You know what I mean? So I'm going to start with Ant. And then I'll come on who's Mark. When Mark understands that people are now going live, so I'm going to come to Ant. I can't come to Mark first. I can never come to Mark first because he'll never get it. He'll never know that he's live, right? So, Ant, what's up, man?
What's up?
Chilling. So, what do you think? What are your goals? What do you think about the goals I put up, and what are your goals for Kevin Knox? We'll talk with you. We'll talk with Mark, and then I'm going to go on to Mitchell Robinson.
I mean, a lot of my goals for Kevin Knox aren't really tangible. Like, it's just stuff like I want to see, like from the eye test. Like, I want to see like an alpha mentality, like a willingness to take over. Like,
all right,
I want to see that. I want to see him get a few floor burns. Like, I want to see him hustle, run hard, play hard, be tenacious. One of Clyde Frazier's words. I want to see that from him because his personality is a laid-back personality. So I want to see that he can turn into a dog when he needs to be a dog.
Right.
Right. I need to see that from him.
Right, and that's what goes with dispelling that whole rumor that he has a low motor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, even like KP, he showed us every once in a while, like he got that dog somewhere in him. Like I want to see that dog out of Kevin Knox.
Yeah.
And then my third goal, I want to see some consistency. Some consistency. Even if he's not consistently great, I want to see him be consistently impactful. Like every game, I want him to have an impact on the game. You know, whether he's scoring points, getting rebounds, facilitating. I want to see him have an impact on the game every game.
Okay.
And those are my goals.
That's what's up. All right, let me come to the Mark. You ready? All right, Mark. You here, Mark?
All right, there's three things I got. Three things with him, with Kevin Knox.
Hey,
right?
Mark was on point. He was on time, and he's on topic. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Mark. I didn't mean to cut you off.
There's three things. I want to see his handle improve.
Okay.
His finishing ability when he goes to the rack, because he gets to the rack and he's gonna get calls just because the way how he angles himself getting to the rack. And I just want to see him a little bit more efficient. I don't want him seeing below 44%. I don't want to see him below that.
Okay.
If he's gonna be, if we looking at him as a premier scorer, you want him above 40, around 45 his first year. You don't want him lesser than that, because that means he can and will be. Well, no, not really. It's just it's.
Oh, I can't hear what they're saying. So.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, but I feel like he can do it because he don't play a erratic game. He don't always look to he's not a volume scorer, so that's why I look at him that he can score efficiently, because he's not a efficient scorer. Okay. Those are my three things with him.
All right, and see, I would like to see him shoot around 45% per game.
Yeah, because I don't think he's going to take 20 shots a game. Even if we want him to take 20 shots a game, his game is not predicated on him taking 20 shots a game. If you watch how he plays a game.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not as worried about the efficiency.
He's not going to be asked to create shots for himself.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more worried about.
He's going to be doing more catching and shooting.
I'm a little bit more worried about the shot selection than the efficiency right now, but I do feel you. I mean, 45% would be.
When I watch him, he don't have shot selection where I be like, yo, don't take that shot.
Right, I got you.
That don't, like, when I watch him, that don't ever ring my mind.
Okay.
It's more just now that he's in the NBA, and because he can become a premier scorer, I just want to see him efficient as early as possible.
Okay.
Just for the he don't have to, but I would like to see. But the most I would like to see from him is his ball handling and just him finishing at the rack. That's it. Those are my two main things with him, and that's it.
All right, man. Let me see what Prince is talking about. Prince, what's good, man?
Hey, what's up, Sim, man? Shout out to chat, man. I've been missing y'all, man. It's been a couple shows that I ain't been on, man, but I've been paying attention.
Man. Glad to have you back. Yeah. So, what do you think, man? Goals for Kevin Knox. Where you at with it?
Well, my goals with it, man, is definitely I think rookie of the year. We're gonna start out with that. We're gonna start out with Roy. Definitely. From rookie of the year, I think I would like to see him definitely his 3-point percentage. I think his 3-point percentage to be around at least 39 to at least like 42, 43%. I mean, if he can shoot that efficient, I think, because again, everybody's talking about, in the chat, we all talking about, him and his efficiency. But if you really watch Kevin in Kentucky, he played within Kentucky's offense. So again, people thinking, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if he really gets the chance to do what he wants to do, he's going to definitely, score the ball like we need him to.
Okay. All right.
My third would have to be, I would have to agree with who's Mark was saying. I think his handle. I think definitely to see him be able to handle that ball and be able to, like you said, do his thing one-on-one and, that high pick and roll so that, he could run the offense and be that point three that we need. So yeah. I'm looking forward to them three.
All right. That's what's up. All right. I'm gonna go in. I want to talk about Mitchell Robinson a little bit. Then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come to you, Mike. All right. So get to Mitchell Robinson. I want to talk about Mitchell Robinson and what I think Mitchell Robinson's goals for the season are. Now, Mitchell Robinson is kind of an anomaly, right? We all kind of know a little bit of history of Mitchell Robinson and, what his, kind of what he, what his stats were in high school. He averaged like 33 points a game. And,
well, you got to think in our offense, though,
my bad, guys. And, he averaged like 33 points a game. He was, 12, 13 rebounds or whatever it was, 7 blocks a game. I mean, he put up crazy numbers in high school. Now, that's all relative because it depends on who you're playing against. A lot depends on who you're playing against. He was rated like the 3rd best center in the league coming out of high school. And then obviously we know the type of things that happened with him going into college. And he ended up going to Western Kentucky, and he had some big schools looking at him. He went to Western Kentucky because of his uncle, or whoever it was hired there. And then quickly realized that it wasn't for him. And then moved on. But because he already practiced with Western Kentucky, he was not able to transfer. So he decided that he'd work out for the year to play to get ready for the NBA. Now, that is part of the reason, of course, that he's become that he dropped to us. That's part of the reason that he dropped to us. Without a doubt. He was a top 10 player in high school in the nation. Who knows what would have happened in college or what he would have been ranked coming out of college. But we're lucky that he dropped to us and we got there. But I think he's the perfect player right now? No, of course not. I think that he has a ways to go, but he has the ability and the talent, of course, to make some things happen. If you take a look at CK2K had a video about Mitchell Robinson. It was pretty good. You could check that out and learn a little bit more about Mitchell Robinson if you don't know. I didn't want to go over it again here, just the full story, because it's been around for a little while and I think we all know. So I wanted to really talk about some goals that I want to see from Mitchell Robinson. And the first thing that I want to see, goal for the season, because I'm not expecting Mitchell Robinson, and I know a lot of people are, they're expecting him to eventually start over cancer this season. I don't see that happening this year. Next year, yeah, I don't see it happening this year, and I'm okay with that. Definitely okay with it. So the first thing that I want to see from Mitchell Robinson is to build his upper and lower body strength throughout the season. Kind of like what they did with Frank. Right? If you pay attention, you remember at the end of last year, they said Frank put on 8 pounds of muscle throughout the year. And what that said is that, throughout the season, they weren't as worried about Frank's production on the court. They wanted to see him build his body. I think that's the same concept. I think it's the same strategy they need to take with Mitchell Robinson. Build his body throughout the year, throughout the season. Take the time. Don't worry as much about his on-court production, but build his strength, right? Because undoubtedly, he's a center, and we know that, and he's going to play against guys that are strong in the league. He didn't get that year, or I know he had a year, he had that year off where he probably tried to put on some weight and put on some muscle, not weight, put on some muscle and worked on his game. But you didn't have that college level training that, I don't know. And maybe they did. Maybe they had someone that really sat down and came up with a plan for him. I don't know. Doesn't look like it to me. So I think that's my first goal for him. My first goal for him is to, use this season. You got a whole year to build your upper and lower body strength while you're playing, so you can build that strength and then learn how to use it on the floor. You know, so I think that's the first thing that they need. That's his first goal for me for the year, is to build that upper and lower body strength. Second goal, make the rookie game. I think he can do it. I think he can be one of the, I don't know how many players they select in the rookie game, but I'd like to see him make the rookie game. It doesn't mean that he has to, you know, average 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks. You know, if he's getting 20 minutes a game, I think he can make the rookie game. I would like to see him make the rookie game. Right? That's what I want to see from Mitchell Robinson. And, you know, when he's on the floor to make the rookie game, what do I think he needs to do? You know, if he's averaging 8 points, 8 rebounds, I'd be off the wall for that. 8 points, 8 rebounds a game, 2 blocks or something like that. I'd be off the wall for that. Like, I don't know who it was. I think it was Anthony that was just, or maybe it wasn't Anthony. Whoever it was, one of the callers said they want to see Mitchell Robinson just go out there, and you said, do what you do, big guy. Just do it. You know, just go out there and play ball. Don't worry about, you know, we know he's developing. Just go out there and play ball. Play your game. Find out. You got him in camp. You're going to know what he does well. Put in schemes to utilize his athleticism. You know what I mean? Utilize his athleticism. And then, of course, I want the kid to be in the top 10 in blocks per game. I think he can do it. I think he can do it. In summer league, he averaged 4 blocks per game, and I think he broke the records for blocks per game or something like that in summer league. High school average, I think it was 7 blocks per game. I'd like to see Mitchell Robinson be in the top 10 in blocks per game. I think he can do it. Even if he's averaging 20 minutes a game, I think he probably can do it. His timing is so good. He has great timing. Great timing. So I think that he can average 2 blocks a game. And if he averages 2 blocks per game, I believe he'll be in the top 10. I think he should be in the top 10. I don't want to say he should. One day in his career, I know he'll be in the top 10, if not the number 1 shot blocker in the league at some point in his career. But I would like to see him shoot for being in the top 10 in blocks per game this season. You know, but so we'll see what happens with him. I know some people say that he's going to start, and they want to see him start by, you know, after the All-Star break and those type of things. Unless Inez Kanter is traded, I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. I'm 100% cool with it. You know what I mean? But those are my goals for Mitchell Robinson. I think they're wildly obtainable. You know, he's going to be working on his upper and lower body, making the rookie game definitely obtainable. And top 10 in blocks per game, I think, is definitely obtainable. You know, so I'll be looking forward to watching Mitchell Robinson play this year. I'm so excited. I just can't wait till training camp, man. Crazy excited. So I'm coming to the video chat. I want to know what you guys think. All right. Mike, I'm coming to you, man.
You coming.
Mike, what's up, man? Hey, Mike, what's up, man? What do you think about Mitchell Robinson? Some goals you think he should shoot for the season?
You got to work on that fouling. We don't need him averaging 6 fouls a game.
That's true. I think
you got to get bigger on the block when it comes to rebound. We talk about Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson, yeah.
When it comes,
Hey, Prince, we can't hear you. Prince, we can't hear you, man.
Prince, we can't hear you, boss.
Hey, Prince. Hey, let Mike finish, man, because we can't hear him.
He's talking to me. Nah, but yo, Prince was dropping knowledge just now. But yeah, I need Mitchell Robinson. He got the height. He looked like he got the heart for it. You know, he need to get bigger on the block when it comes to rebounding. He's athletic as hell, so he's going to be a good shot blocker.
Right. Yeah, we know that.
He's going to be a good shot blocker, but his fouls. I don't want him to do what Hassan Whiteside did, where he's ruining the defense by going after blocks.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
Like I really I think he has potential to be something, because before he decided to not play in college, he was like a number 2 or 3 recruit. He was somebody, you know.
Yeah, he was
like people were talking up. Yeah, he was up there with Ayton and them.
Yeah, he was the third best center. In the country.
Yeah.
And then listen.
So the fact that he's raw.
Yeah, in summer league, Ayton averaged like 1 more point per game. Mitchell Robinson averaged 13 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Ayton was like 14 points, 10 rebounds, and like 3 blocks or something like that.
And you can't teach athleticism and size. You can't teach that. That's something you either got it or you don't.
Yeah. But he definitely has to get that, you're right. You know, his strength together, he's going to have to get stronger. That's the one thing that Ayton has. You know, the one thing that Ayton has over him is that strength. He already has that strength that Mitchell Robinson needs to gain. But that's cool. That's all right. Let's see what.
But I don't know if Ayton's as mean as Robinson, because Robinson was just violating people's layups.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't account.
He was
for that.
Violating.
You can't account for that heart aspect of it. You know what I mean?
At all.
Aggressiveness. Nate,
and we need players like that in the Garden. We don't have enough ugly players in the Garden.
Exactly.
You know? We need people that are ugly. You know, they're gonna come out there and just ugly it up a little bit.
There it is. Right. I'm with you.
Ron Baker.
Nate, what's up, man?
These dudes are saying Ron Baker.
What's up, Sim? How you doing?
All right. So
my 3 goals for Mitchell Robinson. All right. First one, I want him to watch DeAndre Jordan when he was a rookie.
Oh,
he needs to learn how to rebound and shot block, because I really think this guy is the next second coming of him. Second of all, I want him to be a dominant rebounder, and I want him to be a dominant shot blocker. I think he's got the potential to be both.
In the first year?
Huh?
In the first year?
Dominant rebounder, shot blocker? Yeah, I really think he's got the potential.
He'd be a dominant shot blocker.
I'm just saying he's got to have the mentality. He's got to be. I want him to be a strong rebounder, and I want him to be a strong shot blocker, because he has shown ability to do that in the summer league. But I think he has the ability to do that in the NBA. I'm not saying he's going to be the tops, but I'm just saying he needs to develop that mentality that I'm going to be a strong, dominant rebounder, dominant shot blocker at some point in my career, like DeAndre Jordan. You know, and then third, I want him to make the pick and roll his baby, because that's going to be his bread and butter. You know, with Frank Ntilikina, pick and roll is going to be sick.
Oh,
and that's going to be the only way really we're going to be able to get him baskets, because he's still going to have to learn the post game. He's going to have to learn. He's very offensively raw, but the pick and roll, I really think that could be his bread and butter, to where he can score a lot of points and get those rebounds and shot blocks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm excited to see that Mitchell Robinson and Frank Ntilikina pick and roll, man. I'm excited for that.
I mean, all you got to do is just see Frank with KP in the pick and roll, and then just imagine Mitchell Robinson with more athleticism. I mean, you can just literally throw it up anywhere, and Mitchell can come down and dunk it.
Well, but that was the thing with KP. A lot of times KP liked to pop. Sometimes he did roll to the basket, but a lot of times KP like the pop. Mitchell Robinson is going to be going to the basket. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Mitchell's going to be in the beginning more of a pick and roll type of player, but if he works on his jumper and he's got the ability to shoot threes in some of his videos, he could be that pop later. But I think right now, pick and roll is just going to be that play for him. That's going to be his completely. Just like the way they used DeAndre Jordan. If you watch DeAndre Jordan early on, CP3, that's all he did was just pick and roll all day. And told him to rebound and shot block.
That'll be his bread and butter. I agree. That'll be his bread and butter. And, you know, don't let the videos fool you, though, because, you know, you can watch a lot of videos and you can see guys shooting threes and this and that. But it's different. It's much different when you get in the game and you got to shoot. Guillermo.
Yeah.
What's going on? Hold up, Nate. What's up, man? I can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you. Yep. I'll come back to you. Can't hear you. Viv, what's your take, bro?
So I saw your goals. They're pretty solid. I don't know about the strength part. I think it's going to be hard to really develop a lot of strength during the season because of the games you play. It's just going to be, you're going to end up losing weight and whatever. So that part might be tough.
I don't know that he's going to just, like gain a lot of weight, but kind of like what happened with Frank last year. They said Frank over the season put on like 8 pounds of muscle.
Right.
And if you have him, eating, with a high calorie intake, a lot, of course, a lot of protein, and then he's hitting the weights before and after games, and then of course on his days off, you're gonna have some days off where you don't lift weights, of course, and you're working on different parts of your body. He can build some muscle, I think, over the season. I'm not saying he's going to be like huge, but he can, he can build some muscle over the season. What I guess what my point there is like they did with Frank. I think they did with Frank when I found out that he gained 8 pounds of muscle over the season. That said to me that they focused more on him building his body than his production on the floor. And that's the same thing I would like to see.
I agree with that. But I think that because they do that, I don't know how many minutes he's going to end up getting. So, the rookie game and the 1.8 blocks, unless he gets about 25, 30 minutes a game, those are going to be really hard to achieve. But my goal, and honestly, my goal is more intrinsic. I want him to be able to, integrate himself easily into a team environment where, he doesn't get, he knows where to be on the floor all the time, where he doesn't get lost on the pick and roll defense. Okay. I want him to be able to, get
exactly. He knows when to make plays.
I want him to be able playing 20, 25 minutes a game, build that up over the course of time, and hopefully kind of build things from there. And then we'll worry about the stats afterwards. And maybe, I guess if you look at stats, one thing I would want to do is to try to avoid, chasing after blocks, because that, that really can get us into, defensive trouble. Mm-hmm. But
that's what he does.
And he can get blocks without chasing after him. I think, I think he can get blocks by, just by understanding where to be on weak, on the weak side defense.
Right. Strength is going to help with that too.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see if Guillermo is back.
I can't hear him.
Can't hear him? Still can't hear him?
Still can't hear him.
I don't know what's going on. All right, let me take a call then. I'll get the call going. Call you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
I'm chilling. How are you, man?
I'm all right. Yes.
So, I know you've been listening to the
September 25th.
I know you've been listening to the show. So what are your goals, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson? What do you think they should? What kind of goals do you think they should set?
I don't set goals. I'm looking for more for aspirations. I want to look at it in the highest optimist way possible. What they, if everything lines up and we get the roll of the dice. I want to see Kevin Knox come out the way Landry Fields came out. Now Landry Fields fell off in that second year, but Landry Fields if they didn't have that second year player who didn't play a game in the season as rookie of the year, Landry Fields would have won that rookie of the year. I want to see Kevin Knox do that. And with Mitchell Robinson, same thing. If Mitchell Robinson ends up being the best center or even the second best center out of this draft behind Wendell Carter, because I really don't think Ayton's going to be all that.
Okay.
I want to see him hit a home run. I'm tired of seeing the Knicks always with the good player. David Lee takes 3 years. I want to see him hit a home run. I want to see the Knicks get a Donovan Mitchell. And to be personal, I think Mitchell Robinson's that guy. I think Knox is going to have a good year, but I think Mitchell Robinson, he goes out there and gets.
You here? Did I lose you? Think we lost you. Think I lost him. So let's see if Guillermo, you there? Still can't hear him. He's still gone. I don't know what's going on with his audio. He's having some audio issues tonight. But listen, I like to hear what you guys, you guys' opinions about, the goals for the players. And next show was that Tuesday night. We'll be talking about a few other players. We'll probably do Frank Ntilikina. I don't know, maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. Those would be two hot topics right there. So yeah, we'll do Frank Ntilikina and Tim Hardaway Jr. Next Tuesday. Those would be two hot ones, I'm pretty sure. But we'll continue to break down players, and we'll do some chalk talk as well. But good topics to talk about, and I'm really looking forward to the season starting. And when we get closer to the season, we'll talk about some team goals, and some team aspirations. Not closer to the season, but closer to training camp, which is just a couple of weeks away. Now, I do want to mention one more time that if you are interested in attending the opening night game, there are tickets available. Please log on. I'm putting the link in the group chat once again. All right. Now, remember, we sold out. We've already sold out one lounge. There was a lot of demand, so we got another lounge. And we've already sold tickets. We got about 25 tickets remaining. So if you want to get in, I need you to get in now, because those tickets will go. All right. I just put the link in the group in the chat. And if you like to purchase tickets, it's $205 for a ticket. You get, of course, you get to see the game. Food and non-alcoholic beverages are included. You also get to be courtside during pregame warm-ups, and you also get to you get a tour of the Garden. So check it out. Check it out. Go on there, check it out. Also want to give a shout out to Payback Carter. I was talking about Andrew Bynum, who said he's an extra training camp body. That's all. Payback Carter is he's the person who I got it from. Payback, I got it from you. You probably know. And then Travis Fisher, thank you for the super chat. You said thoughts on Dotson. We're gonna get the Dotson and what his goals for the season should be. So we'll definitely get there. Not next show, maybe a little. I don't know, maybe next show too. We'll have time to do 3 people. All right, caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Yeah, Sim, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
All right, so I've listened to your show a long time. First time calling though, by the way. My name's Andrew.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate the call, bro.
All right. So the topic is Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox, right? And what are the 3 goals for them?
Just some goals for the season.
Go ahead. Some goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for Mitchell Robinson, I think the obvious goals would be what most people have been saying, right? Block shots. You talked about that. So I'm kind of going to go off a little bit on stuff that maybe not too realistic, but maybe something you could probably achieve in another couple of years or so. So my goals for him would be get that jump shot going, where he can, because you see in videos he's hit them. I know you say, which is true, that doing it in the video doesn't necessarily translate to the games. So that's kind of what I would want to see, that he gets to a point where he's really consistent with that jump shot, where he's pretty reliable, sort of like a KP type, a KP light with that, and that would really expand his game a lot. The other thing I'd like to see, which is probably a little more off, is it would be great if he gets to the point where he could actually start this year at some point. Maybe like during the, maybe like in the season after the All-Star break, he's playing well enough that he can start. And the last thing is kind of what everybody's been saying. I think rebounding, I would love to see him develop. Right now, I think he has the potential to be a great rebounder.
Yeah, he's
obviously not there yet because his body's not developed, right? So the thing would be, those were the 3 things. So rebounding, getting that jump shot going, and getting to the point where he surprises us where he's good enough to start. That would be my 3 things for him.
Okay. And I think, I don't think this year that he's going to start. I think that
I agree.
I think he'll start.
Like I said, it was more. Like I said, it was more like I didn't want to just repeat the same thing everybody was saying, so I kind of wanted to kind of go off a little bit, a little bit like that.
No, but listen, if they decided to start him, I'd be happy with it.
I'd be very happy. I'd be very happy myself.
I'm all about for this season having the young players learn, and wherever that lands us, I accept it. If it lands us in the playoffs, I accept it. If it lands us with the number 1 pick, I accept it. I just want the young players to get as much court time as possible to work on these type of things. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's got to be all about development.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's got to be all about development, and wherever that lands us, it lands us.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go back to the last show. I think the last show just a little bit, right? You were talking about, you guys were talking about, I think it was like KD coming and maybe Kyrie and Butler and so on. In my opinion, man, I think the Knicks should even bother with all of that because they really have, in my estimation, a really nice young core.
Okay.
And I'm with you in terms of they should let these guys play because there's 2 things that will go that's going to benefit them if they do that. One, these guys, just as you were just saying, they're going to get a lot of playing time and they're going to develop faster. They're going to learn more, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
You're going to develop that chemistry between all of these young guys, right? The second thing is, even though they're really talented, these young guys, they're very inexperienced. And in Mitchell's case, he's pretty raw. So they're not going to win a lot of games. So if they don't win, I know you're not into the tanking, so I won't use the word tanking, but they're still going to lose regardless because they're just not ready yet. And that will mean they're probably get a higher pick in the draft, which they could get another young stud to add to the core. Right now, the core would be, Mitch Robb, Kristaps when he comes back, Kevin Knox, and Frank. And you could add, say, the guy I like in the 2019 draft is Nasir Little because of that defense that he supposedly is really good at. I know you're not really talking about that right now, but I'm just throwing that out as far as saying that I agree with you that we should really play the young kids. I'm saying that would benefit the team. That would be a side benefit is that they probably will lose, but at the same time these guys are going to get experience, and it means they're also going to get even more talent at the top of the draft. So it's a win-win all around.
Okay.
If they play the young kids, in my estimation. Yeah. So that's kind of where I would go with it.
All right, Andrew, man, I appreciate the call. We had a couple people in the chat say you sound like Pat Ewing.
All right, man. Sim, you're a great show.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you, man.
Yeah, hey, you hear what I said? A couple people in the chat said you sound like Patrick Ewing, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually Jamaican like Patrick, so maybe that's part of it. So, that's good to hear. That's a very flattering thing to say, man, because Patrick was my man, too. So
that's it. It was my man. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care, man.
All right, take care. Peace.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, we got a lot of good things going on, and we're about to get the last words. We're getting the last words. We've been on for close to 2 hours, and we're gonna end this off with some last words again one more time. If you are interested in these tickets, just put the link in the chat one more time. All right, go on opening night tickets, and actually tomorrow I'm going to be working on possibly some tickets for the Martin Luther King Day matinee, and maybe the Lakers game in March. I'll see. I don't know what's available. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to check it out. I'm going to inquire. So. And if it comes out, you'll see it. But that's the link there. Check it out. I'm gonna get to these last words by the guys in the video chat and myself, and we'll call it a night. And hopefully, you guys have a great week. So let's get to these last words. And I still got the goals up. We just went over these goals, and these are actually Kevin Knox. So let me take that off the screen, and there we go. There goes our video chat, guys. So let me see. Who am I going to start with? I'm going to start with Isaiah because he's tired, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And he can't stay up. So Isaiah, man, what's popping, man? Give us some last words since.
Hey, wait. I'm up.
It's
look, I'm
obvious.
up now.
It's obvious. See, look, Isaiah got to go last on the last show, so now he thinks he can just come on the show, sleep through the show, and all that kind of whatever. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'll be listening. Yo, listen, so I'll be listening, but my last words is everybody needs a good 8 hours of sleep to function.
That's true. Well,
hey, fuck.
What time?
Yo, don't do that. But let me say something, Sam. Look, can I say one thing, Sam, before you kick me out?
All right.
We need to trade. This is Giants talk real quick. We need to trade Eric Flowers. He's not a football player. He's trash. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody. I'm going to sleep. You can kick me out now. Peace. Love everybody.
All right, man. You going. I'm getting him out of here. Get him out of there. He's done. Let me see. Ant, I'm coming to you, Ant. What's poppin'?
What up? What's up? Baby Zay. That's funny. Yo, I don't have nothing deep to say tonight, but the video chat was real funny tonight. It was funny. It was lit. This is the off season to me. Not the off season, but the training camp. The player I most want to see is Frank.
Okay.
You know, I want to see what he working with. You know, that's the player I'm most excited to see. But he can also be my biggest disappointment. You know, so I'm kind of nervous. You know, but I want to see Frank improve offensively, and if I see that, I'll be very happy. But that's what I'm looking forward to seeing this training camp.
All right, yeah, we're gonna talk about some goals for Frank in the next show. So,
word,
get a team.
I'm a prophet. See.
All right, man. All right, later, man. Peace. All right, let me see. We're gonna get to Mark. We're gonna go with Mark because Mark, you know, we're gonna go to Mark. Mark, what's popping, man? What's up?
Yo, bro, you can't let Isaiah be going last if he gonna fall asleep in the stream. We ain't come here to sleep. We ain't come here to sleep.
That's what I'm saying. I know. That's what I'm saying. He got to go last show. Now, you know, all of a sudden he's Mr. Cool Guy. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, you want my spot, but you can't have it. But anyway, like I said, my last talk of the night, man. Not Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell, with him, I just want to see him play about 10 to 15 minutes a game. I don't want him to go to D-League. I want him to stay on the roster.
Me too.
I want to see him play 10 to 15 minutes this year. That's all I want to say.
All right, I want to see him. I want to see him stay too. I think he might spend some time
I don't want to see him in D-League.
but I like to see him stay. You know what I mean? I want to see him play. I want him on the floor
because I feel like he need that rep. He need that rep.
Yeah, he does.
I want that real NBA speed to get with him.
I agree with you, and you know he'd probably go down to the G League and dominate, and you know dominate to the point where it's not getting them better. You know, we'll see what happens. Because
with me, defensively, I think he's the next AD defensively in a few years. That's me personally.
Okay. All right, man. Mark, I'll talk to you Tuesday night. Have a good one. Peace.
All right, Chad.
Peace.
Chad, holla back.
Salute to you. All right, let me see. Nate.
What's up, Sam?
What's going on, man?
All right, so final word. I like what you said about the accountability aspect. I think that's important for any culture you're trying to build with young players. Mm-hmm. And it starts from the top and finishes at the bottom. And I think that Mills, Perry, you know, Dolan, even in some extent, I think they have the right plan of how they want to formulate this team and what they want to do and how this team's going to look like. Now it's up to the players to kind of fall in line with what the coach wants them to do. And I think that Fizdale is a player development coach, and I think he has the right idea of how to mold these players and what he wants. I'm excited to see how they come out in training camp, how hungry they look, and how ready they look to just compete every night. I will say this about the young players. I just want the young players to keep their head down, learn from the vets. Mm-hmm. Don't have to be the guy all the time. Just play within the system. You know, just be the best player you can be. You don't have to be anybody right now. This is going to be pretty much a wash year in a sense, but we're looking – it's all player evaluation all season. And I think you just got to come in and do your thing, do your job. And one final thing is I would like you to do a segment projecting the starting five and possibly your, fourth, fifth, or third people off the bench. I think that would be a pretty good segment to debate.
Yeah.
To see what we could do.
Yeah, definitely. When we get closer to the,
because I've got
closer to that preseason game.
Yeah, just starting five for this year. Yeah.
Yeah. When we get closer to that first preseason game, I'll probably do it. Yeah,
definitely.
All right, man.
Be a good debate.
Definitely.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Right,
night chat.
Later. Peace, man.
Later.
Have a good one. All right, let me see. Viv, it's on you, bro.
All right, Sim. Just one clarification before I go on to my last word. With regards to the G League, my idea is, there will never be a time where Mitchell will be, in the G League when the team is actually playing games. At home, definitely. For the most part, especially on the East Coast, we'll get him games, be on the Knicks squad, and to the extent he can play additional games, say if the Westchester schedule allows him to, play games during our off days, he should go ahead and go up to Westchester, get minutes up there, that way he can get 30 minutes. So that way he's always, conditioned in season. That's my plan for him.
Okay.
Now my last word is really, if you haven't seen it already, I have my blog post up that you talked about earlier today. My main plan was actually going in addition to what you did today with Knox and Mitchell. I want to do it actually with all the other players. And my idea is, asking what are the three main questions that we have for each particular player. And I think one of the themes, I'm going to give you a foreshadowing to one of the themes that I'm going to mention. And my good buddy Tommy D, he mentioned one idea of, passing the ball on time. Or getting the ball on time to your players.
Seen that.
And you will, that's something, unless you watch a lot of tape, it's not really quantifiable from a stat perspective, but it really makes a difference. Those 2 seconds that you cannot get, that can make a real difference between whether someone gets off a crisp shot or whether they can get off a crisp hockey assist to another player. Or it could happen if it's not a crisp pass, it can end up being a turnover or a block shot or a rush shot. So, that's going to be a key thing that's going to be worth mentioning. That's something I'll probably bring up in the post.
Okay.
I hopefully will have a couple of posts up before Tuesday's chat. I think focusing a lot on the training camp invites and then leading up to our main rotation pieces.
Cool.
But yeah.
You guys jump on nothingbutnicks.com and check out Vivek in the blog section, putting up blog posts. There's also a forum there. You guys, if you got something to say, you want to add something, you can add it into the forum. If I see somebody that writes really, really good, then maybe we bring you in to, do some blog posts for us or something like that. But yeah, you can get in, you can write whatever you like in the forum as long as it's clean, of course. And go for it. So check it out. Check out the blog post. The current blog post that's up is 3 keys to watch before media day, right?
Yep.
Something like that.
The road to media day, 3 things to watch. Yes.
Yeah, 3 things to watch. So go ahead and check that out. All right, Viv. Appreciate it, man. And I know you didn't get that. You were planning to do a football,
I realized what happened was that the way you have your support, like all the screens and monitors and everything, it's not conducive. So I tried to did it in the podcast format. It was a lot easier and a lot crisper.
Yeah. I just seen that. Yeah. All right, man. All right, later, Viv. Talk to you later.
All right, catch Tuesday.
Tuesday. Peace.
Yep.
All right, Prince. Hold on. There we go. It's on you, my brother.
All right, brother. Last word, Sim. I think my 3 things I want Mitch to do is one, especially defensively, his basketball IQ, raise his basketball IQ so that he can stay on the court a lot longer, not picking up those ticky-tack fouls that he picked up in Summer League. I think you chimed in on this, picking up some body mass and some strength throughout the season. Especially lower body, and definitely showcasing his ability to shoot the ball. I think a lot of people kind of don't believe that he can shoot the ball because we've really never seen him. But the couple videos that I've seen, his jump shot is really smooth, and I think he's going to look for his shot a lot more once he feels comfortable within the offense and the flow of the NBA game. But those three things, I definitely look forward to him. And hey, man, see you on Tuesday. Knox is gonna be Rookie of the Year. He's gonna put that ball in the hole like we could plan on doing.
All right.
But hey, keep doing your thing, Sil. Keep doing your thing, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. Peace. All right, my man Mike. Since you hadn't been here for a while, man, I had to save you for last.
We here, man. We here.
Yeah. So,
yeah, man.
What's going on, man? What's your last words for the night?
For the night, I'm just ready for the season to start, man.
Yeah.
I'm just ready, like I like all the moves we made. My favorite part of all these moves is the fact that we got a coach.
Right.
We have a coach he's not like just stuck in his ways, coach. He's going to grow with the team. While the team is getting better, his coaching is going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's soft, because you're a star player at the time. He's going to ride with you even when you're not playing well. I feel like he's the type of coach that if you're not playing up to standard, you're going to sit down to standard,
Right.
And
right.
That's what I want. I want to see a New York team that's rough but fundamental, we play the right way on both sides of the floor,
Yeah.
Because we're going to put up points. We're going to be able to score, Can we take the same pride in the defense? I don't want to see Tim Hardaway pouting his way up the court,
Right.
And I feel like we have a coach who's going to allow Frank to play point guard as a point guard.
Okay.
And that's what I can't wait to see. I just want to see these young boys play ball. It's been a long time since we had a young team in New York.
Right. That's right.
And it's about time we got one. We got Knox. Knox is going to be a good scorer, I believe. I think he's going to be a premier player. But he got to show me that he wanted. I got to see him go out there and get ugly, get nasty on the floor,
Yeah. All right, man.
I hope that didn't sound any type of way. But yeah.
Now I feel you.
We got Mitchell Robinson. I feel like rebounding and body usage on the rebounding, he got Kanter that's going to show him how to do that. Mm-hmm. If we're going to keep Noah around, Noah's going to show him how to play the defensive side of the ball without fouling every 2 seconds.
Okay.
So we can if you're paying Noah this money, he better be a player coach while he at it.
That's it. I think they might end up before the end of the season. I think they probably end up stretching him before the end of the season. I believe it. If not before the end of the season, during free agency or something like that, because if they're on the cusp of signing somebody, then they're gonna need his salary, to his salary space in order to do it. But we'll see what happens.
Who do you realistically see as signing?
Realistically,
yeah,
Kyrie, and it scares me too. That's who I realistically see, but it also scares me because he's going to require a lot of money, and I'm nervous about those knees.
Thank you.
So that scares me.
That's all I'm thinking about too.
That it scares me. But that's who realistically, that's who I see that we would probably sign, but it scares me a little bit. So
the one upside I see from the whole Kyrie thing, outside of the caliber of player he is, when you look at Rubio and Donovan Mitchell in Utah, I could see that with Frank and Kyrie.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be.
You got a bucket getter and a playmaker.
Together. Yeah, I would love to see that on the floor together, man.
That would be beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Because if Trey Burke and Frank were doing well together on the floor, can you imagine what Kyrie and Frank would do on the floor?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Trey is not in Kyrie's league, you know what I'm saying?
Right. That would be crazy. Yeah. But Mike, I'm gonna let you rock, man. So I'm gonna close out the show. Have a good one. Take care of that arm, man, so you can get back to work and help some people out.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Peace, man.
All right, man. Be good.
Peace. All right, folks. We are down to the end of the show. Thank you guys for joining me. You know, Sunday Night Football. Some of you guys joined me while you were watching Sunday Night Football. I appreciate it. You know, that's always going to be a feat, competing against Sunday Night Football. But we here anyway. You guys joined in anyway. We had a good time, good talks. Next show, we're going to talk about Frank Ntilikina and Tim Hardaway. We'll get into some chalk talk. We're going to talk about goals, for our players. So again, and you can see the link right in the group chat. If you have not had a chance to purchase your tickets for the opening night event, NBK opening night kickoff, make sure you get your tickets. All right, get your tickets now. We've sold out one lounge. This is the second lounge. I think we have some competition. I think we have another group out there trying to get this same lounge. So we need people to get in. We need you guys to get in. All right. Food and beverage included, non-alcoholic beverages. Of course, you get to see the game courtside at pregame warm-ups, tour of the garden. It's going to be fun. I hope that I see you there. With that being said, you guys have a great week. Be easy. Get your work done. Work hard, but don't work too hard. I'll talk to you guys Tuesday night. Peace.